Details now. The Minister for Monitoring and Evaluation, Anthony Akotose, says President Akufo-Addo's reshuffle is not based on his ministry's assessment of the ministers. President Akufo-Addo yesterday made 15 changes to his ministers and deputies. Here's a News Desk report of some of the key changes.
When he was asked to act as energy minister after Boakye Jaku was sacked, it came as no surprise to many because of his previous civil society experience in the field. But his days of acting ends as President Akufo-Addo gives him the green light to man the energy ministry in the wake of the Ameri debacle. John Peter Amewu seems poised.
This particular girls, knowing the benefit and the interest of this country, so they were able to have their way. And so we will definitely have to interrogate, examine, and see what would be more beneficial to the owners of the resources.
Some see his move from the Information Ministry to the Inner City and Zongo Development Ministry as a demotion. But does Dr. Mustafa Hamid agree?
If I had been taken out of the cabinet, perhaps you would say that I've been demoted. But I have been given a higher calling in my view, because there's no better service than service to your people.
There were two definite promotions. Deputy Bono Ahafo Regional Minister Evans Opoku-Bobie becomes a substantive minister for the region, whilst Deputy Information Minister and former Super Morning Show host Kojo Ponkroma takes over from his boss, Dr. Mustafa Hamid.
In the last 1 year, under the leadership of Dr. Hamid, we developed a strategic plan. As I take over, I would simply be following that program and working to deepen the exercise of getting government's information out there and on time.
Bono Ahafo Regional Minister Kweku Asumatremi is now Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources Kofi Ada, who many had predicted will be sacked, is now Minister for Aviation, with Cecilia Abinadapa replacing him. Paulina Tangoba Abayage, former ambassador to Italy, is now Upper East Regional Minister designate. Pius Enam Hajide, Deputy Minister for Youth and Sports, who was recently reinstated after a brief suspension, is now Deputy Information Minister, while Perry Curtis Okujeto moves from the Information Ministry to the Sports Ministry. As deputy, there's a new face. Mrs. Cynthia Morrison, who is also Member of Parliament for Aguna West constituency, says she is ready as she replaces Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Otiko Afisa Jaba, who is now Ghana's ambassador to Italy.
I'm thinking of adoption, I'm thinking of the elderly, and I'm thinking of the physically challenged. The foster homes that have been closed down. How do we keep juvenile and adults in the same cell?
Boniface Abubakar Siddiq gets a new role as Minister of State at the Office of the Vice President.
Now, many thought any reshuffle would be based on the evaluation of the ministers done by the Ministry of Monitoring and Evaluation. Sector Minister Anthony Akotose, however, says the president's changes are independent of the ministry's evaluation. My colleague Manasseh Azuria Wuni first asked him whether the reshuffle was based on the evaluation.
Difficult to tell because I'm not privy to the president's reasons for doing the reshuffle. The president himself, if you remember, had done evaluation of all ministers. The evaluation I sent to cabinet do not purport to really deal with how best the minister is performing, but just to check to see if the results that we expect are coming through. So I cannot tell. I'm not privy to the reasons the president used to make the changes.
What is the essence of your evaluation?
Well, that is up to the president how he wants to use it. We cannot dictate to him that based on this evaluation, you must do A, B, C, D. I think the president looks at several times before he makes changes, and he is the appointed authority. So we should leave him latitude to use whatever instruments that it finds okay.
And if you look at the outcome of this reshuffle and also what you are privy to in the evaluation you did, does it have any form of a correlation?
That is why I'm saying it is difficult to tell, because I was not evaluating persons per se. My evaluation deals with the collective responsibility of dealing with how best we are achieving results and what constraints are in place and how best we can remove the constraints so people can deliver. So my objective is not to do an evaluation upon which changes can be made, more upon which results can be.
Now, some residents of Kumasi have expressed anger following alleged police assault of a physically challenged person. Lance Corporal Emmanuel Jemfi allegedly beat up 42-year-old David Ayembe after he questioned why the police officer gave warning shots as he attempted to disperse a group of individuals who were pleading for a driver being assaulted by the officer. Nanaya Ojima visited David Ayembe and filed this report.
The 42-year-old man is nursing a fractured wrist following attack by Emmanuel Jemfi, popularly known as Mosquito, of the Central Police Station Command. He sits in his veranda with a pair of crutches resting on his laps, with a bandaged arm to support the pair of crutches. He has sought medical treatment from a local orthopedic specialist. He also wears a prosthetic leg. The fracture he suffered from the alleged assault by the policeman has rendered him further incapacitated. David says the policeman had fired his AK-47 rifle into the air at a washing bay when some individuals tried to plead for a driver he was abusing for unknown reasons. He says he was drawn by the sound of gunshots to find out what it was, only to be assaulted by the policeman he alleges was drunk at the time.
So he came to where I stood, and then I asked him why he is doing that. I told him the gun isn't supposed to be used in such a manner. He can kill someone. He came my way, held me and punched me. It landed me against the container shop, injuring my hand. As you can see, I wear prosthetic in one leg, so I am not very healthy to fight a drunk police officer.
King David alleges he was thrown out of the charge office at the Central Police Station when he made attempts to file a report against his abuser. He had followed a police patrol team which came to the scene to pick up the policeman.
When I followed the patrol team to the Central Police Station, they wouldn't listen to me. I tried to lodge an official complaint, but they told me I would not be allowed to lodge a complaint against their colleague. They came for my name and contact for him. I saw them lock him up in cells.
The news team continued to the Opoku Sika washing bay at Asafo, where the shooting and assault were confirmed by people who claim to have witnessed the incident. They will, however, not speak on record for fear of being victimized. A concerned resident tells me he did not witness the most recent shooting incident, but maintains it is not the first time the policeman has exhibited such behavior. Inusa Abad says reports on previous shooting incidents went without any known action.
The report ni bebre aba omo nyane hwe. Nti ko report kura onu pen kasa kura amfaso maso.
I have led residents to report him to the previous regional commanders, but nothing has come of it. We are fed up of reporting him to the command. My only worry is that one day he might kill someone because he mostly does that out of drunkenness.
Police say the policeman was arrested, detained and later granted bail, while the matter has been referred to the Criminal Investigation Department at the Central Police Station. Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Now, away from that, alumni and present residents of the university and Unity Halls at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have petitioned the president through the Education Ministry to intervene in the decision by the university authorities to assign females to the all-male halls. Amid the singing of protest songs, the protesters marched through the principal streets of Accra to express their disgust at the decision. KNUST authorities early this year notified the university community about plans to convert the single-sex halls in the schools to accommodate its increasing number of female students. Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba is with the protesters and joins us live from the ministries with more. Maxwell, how many people are on this protest, and tell us about the atmosphere there?
Well, Daniel, it's very difficult. I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but it's very difficult hearing you at this point. But I'm sure you are asking about what is happening on the ground right now. Well, behind me, some residents, alumni of the, some alumni and then current residents of the 2 mill halls. We're talking about the Unity Hall, they're also known as Continentals, and then the University Hall, Katangas. What is happening here right now is that there's some little disagreement over where to present the petition to the rep from the Ministry of Education. We've been waiting here for the past 40 minutes, trying to get the police to resolve the issues between the protesters, but it looks like we are not making any progress. So right now we are some meters away from the Arts Center, waiting for the police to resolve the issue. What is happening here right now is that the protesters made up of the alumni and current residents of the 2 mill halls at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, they want to do the official presentation at the Education Ministry. But the police, they are also saying that no, they would have to do the presentation here because that was the agreement. So right now, the leadership of the 2 mill halls, they are currently discussing that progress. We went through the principal streets of Accra to get to this place. We have some of them here with us. We want to hear from them. Why are you protesting the decision to make Unity Hall a mixed one?
Well, it's basically because just like when you go to Ashanti region, we have norms and practices that are there. You cannot go to Otumfo and tell Otumfo that you want to change certain things in there because it is tradition. It is passed on from generations to generations, basically. So Unity Hall is no exception. We are going to make sure that Unity Hall stays a single sex hall, and we do not need, we are serious on this, we do not need any female in Unity Hall. No. Countries, as you can see, I'm a female myself here, yes. So basically, we do not need any female. Yes, that is why we organize Miss Conti and others, basically. So
but some people have described your action as a disincentive to progress. Some say that you are enemies of progress, actually, because the Vice Chancellor is saying that we want to increase the number of females at the University of Science and Technology.
And if you want to increase the number of females in the school, there's also a female hall. You can also mix it up.
They should take more ladies in Republic Hall.
You can take more
one at a time.
You can pick more ladies. The African Hall, it's all female. Queen's Hall, it's male and mixed hall. You can also change the face of Queen's Hall to only female. You understand? It's a Queen's Hall. Even listen to the name, Queen's Hall. How can you bring men to Queen's Hall? You understand?
Say no to men. Was established. Its name, the name itself is something that you should know. Queen's Hall, as the name suggests, Queen's Hall for ladies.
We are serious. Okay, so well, amongst some of the criticisms we've had here, some of the alumni actually saying that this association is by the... Okay. We are live on TV, so you want to be mindful. Hello, guys. Hello. Well, among some of the things that we've had.
That was Maxwell Agbagba there. Maxwell, thank you very much for that report from the ground there. We'll be going back to get more updates on whether or not the protesters are able to present their petition to the representatives of the Ministry of Education. Now, a report on the dissolution of 2 indigenous banks last year, UT Bank and Capital Bank, has revealed that some loans granted by UT Bank were flagged by auditors as flouting prudential regulations. In a document in the exclusive possession of Joy News, the auditors said the review of loans granted to related parties not connected to the UT Group found that there were poor credit management practices, poor credit governance and supervision. Providing further details of the loans advanced to parties not connected to UT Bank, the report revealed that 4 subsidiaries of Excel Korea, a company which Alexander Apeyomarken, Member of Parliament for a Futu constituency in the Central Region, is the main shareholder, received an under-collateralized loan of close to 31 million Ghana cedis from the bank. The commentary on the transaction also said Mr. Apeyomarken was a politically exposed person, a term that suggests the loan should not have been advanced to the politician under those terms. Joining us is Kojo Yangson, joins me in a moment with more details of this. And Kojo is here. Kojo, what more is this report saying about the said politically exposed persons and their involvement in the collapse of UT Bank?
So, Daniel, the report simply states that this bank, UT Bank, violated quite a number of banking laws when it comes to related party transactions. Right now, you see, related party transactions are simply transactions that are conducted between the bank and several different companies that are related. So, for example, if Joy FM, Love FM, Multi TV went to borrow money from a bank, we would be considered as related parties. Okay, now the banking laws are very strict on how banks should transact business with these related parties, particularly when it comes to determining the single obligor limit, which is how much money you can lend to any one customer at a time.
Okay.
Now, the banking laws say that UT Bank should be calculating single obligor limit per customer, not per transaction.
Okay.
But on several occasions, UT Bank calculated it per transaction, allowing them to lend more than they were allowed to several related parties. The Bank of Ghana kept pointing this out, but UT Bank kept violating it. Now, I can give you a few other examples of related parties and what was wrong with how UT Bank dealt with them. One example is Engineers and Planners. That's a company owned by Ibrahim Mahama, who was considered a politically exposed person, or a PEP. Now, a politically exposed person obviously comes with a much higher risk when it comes to lending to them, because they consider their political position to affect their ability to pay back.
Or their political exposure.
Exposure, thank you. Now, in the case of Engineers and Planners, there were 4 separate companies under the group that borrowed from UT Bank. Jata Cement, Holman Brothers, MBG, and Engineers and Planners Limited. Now, these 4 companies together borrowed 261,414,054 cedis, 47 pesewas. Now, the bank tried over and over again to get their money back from Ibrahim Mahama and Engineers and Planners. There is a catalogue of activity that the bank and its board carried out to try and get their money back.
What are some of those activities?
Well, for example, at an emergency board of directors meeting on the 20th of May 2016, I'm quoting here from their minutes, the board expressed great concern about Mr. Ibrahim Mahama's inability to meet his obligations to the bank. As at May 2016, his total exposure was approximately 302 million Ghana cedis.
That means how much he owed the bank.
That's correct. And he had made no effort to honor any of the assurances he gave when they met earlier on the 29th of March 2016. The board directed management to exert more pressure on him to fulfill his obligations. They even requested, and this is interesting, they requested that Mr. Prince Amwabing, the chairman, have a meeting with President Mahama, Ibrahim Mahama, and Mona Korte.
That's curious, Kojo. Do we know why these particular persons were requested to meet with Mr. Prince Amwabing, President Mahama, and Madam Mona Korte?
It would appear that the board considered these individuals able to influence Ibrahim Mahama to meet his obligations. We don't know from the minutes whether that meeting actually happened, but what we do know is that they met with Mr. Adi Ayitevi, who represents Ibrahim Mahama, and the board expressed its disappointment with Mr. Mahama. Its members felt slighted and disrespected by his actions and questioned his credibility as a businessman.
Kojo, let's go to Member of Parliament for Futu, Alex Afenyo-Markin, and what the report says about him.
Now, Alex Afenyo-Markin is the main shareholder of a group called Excel Korea. Excel Korea is made up of 2 companies, Western Investment and Consultancy and Excel Korea. Together, these companies borrowed 30,839,319 cedis and 17 pesewas from UT Bank. But get this, the loan was significantly under-collateralized because for this 30 million cedi amount, the collateral had a total value of less than 1 million cedis.
Less than 1 million cedis?
Less than 1 million cedis.
And
yes.
what exactly was being used as collateral?
Well, legal and surety mortgages is how the collateral is described. And the value of these mortgages was less than 1 million Ghana cedis, yet they used it to secure a loan or loans of up to 30 million Ghana cedis.
Definitely interesting, Kojo. Thank you so much. The report is quite bulky and Kojo is perusing it to bring us more details of that in later bulletins. You want to stay with us and join news today because still up ahead in the bulletin, in the Central Town District of the Volta region, residents in the Mafi Akokope community are being forced to drink from muddy waters they share with animals because of the absence of clean drinking water. The details after these messages. Thanks for staying with us. Now, Ghana is set to be on course to successfully meeting the Sustainable Development Goal on water. But not every part of the country is making enough progress. In the Central Town District of the Volta region, residents in Mafi Akokopo, a community, are being forced to drink from muddy water sources they share with animals because of the absence of clean drinking water. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo was there and now reports.
Residents here, old and young, men and women on daily basis, walk for some 15 minutes to get to the nearest water source. This is how the water looks like. Unclean, brownish, muddy, as thick as porridge. Sticks and tree branches lie in them with bubbles brewing all over it. Felicia, a mother of 4, stands in the mud as she stretches her hand and fetches from the deep source into her basin. A large chunk of what she fetches is actually mud. But guess what? They drink it like that, without any form of treatment.
He was basically saying that this is the only source of water they have over here. And when they fetch it, they will send it home. And they use it to cook. They drink it, do everything with only this water.
Back home, Felicia and her children pour the mud into their huge storage bin. They are grateful they at least have some water to use for their house chores. They will not even allow for the mud to settle before they go fetch it to use for washing of dishes and cooking. Felicia's daughter Sylvia says they don't have a choice.
What are you able to do with the water?
We use it to cook. We use it to wash our things. We drink it.
Aren't you afraid this may cause you any illness?
But it is only this water that we have.
What do you want done about this? What would you want to change?
We want the government to bring us another water.
What kind of water would you have that?
Live-on water.
If water is truly life, as they say, then these residents obviously deserve better than this. For Joy News, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo reporting.
Meanwhile, water is now a scarce commodity in Chamba in the northern region following the drying up of the dam in the area that serves as its water source. The problem has been further compounded by the breaking down of majority of the boreholes in the area, which are more than 2 decades old. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo visited that area and filed this report.
Chamba, a village near Bimbela, has a population of about 10,000 people. This dam is the water that residents here rely on for their daily chores. It's supposed to be filled to the brim, to the level of the shafts, but it's dry most of the times, and mud is all what is left. The drying up of the dam has left the residents with no water.
Okay,
so what she's saying is that they don't have any source of water. They know that there are some few boreholes, but some of them you go and you have to pay money, which she doesn't have money to go and pay. So she's compelled to come and fetch this one and go and manage it. She would have wished for a borehole so that they don't take this dirty water. She herself knows that the water is dirty, but that is the only source of water they have. So she's compelled to fetch that one. What she says is that it's actually far from her place, but this is the only source of water, and the water is not even good. But she has no other place to go and fetch water from. So that is why she's compelled to come here. And as we have come to see her fetching this water, is it not pitiful?
The residents here now have to rely on this almost muddy source of water to cook and bathe, although animals also drink from it.
Anytime we take it, we'll fall sick. And if you fetch this water even to drink and your eyes, how do you yourself feel it? So we are suffering. We are suffering.
When you say you've been falling sick, what kind of sickness has it been causing you?
Yeah, stomach pains, and these many of us are running diarrhea and other things. We are appealing to government. We are on our knees. We are appealing. Feel pity for us and give us water. We are on our knees. We are suffering a lot.
The community has about 14 boreholes serving the about 10,000 people. But about 8 of them are broken down, and the rest are usually under pressure. The boreholes are more than 20 years old, and they break down frequently, even after repair. Assembly member for Chamba West Electoral Area, Biwati David Nyajedo, says the community needs more boreholes and the dredging of the dam itself.
Government and those in power should just pity us. We need water, nothing else. Water, if we get water, clean water to drink, we will not fall sick. If we get more boreholes to add to the few that are there, we will like it. But if we can also get pipe-borne water where they will lay pipes to individual homes, so we can all be fetching from those points, we will also be happy about that. And our dam where we drink with the animals, something also needs to be done about it.
What should be done?
It should be distilled. Looking at it very well, you realize that the dam becomes shallow.
The residents are eagerly awaiting some form of government support to deal with the water challenges. For Joy News, Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, Chamba.
Definitely a disturbing account there. Now, residents of Boko Town are calling on governments to fast-track the construction of major feeder roads within the municipality. Residents say the bad state of the roads has taken a toll on them. They cite Techiman Station roads, Obokuzwa roads, Patelmi roads and others, including the Gingande roads. The residents say dangerous potholes have developed on the already constructed roads in the town.
These roads are vital as they link to many communities in the town. But despite the roads being very busy almost every day, the pleas of residents for government to have them fixed have fallen on deaf ears.
When it is time for politics, that is when the politicians come and make promises. But our roads have been like this for many years. Sometimes we even fall down when plying the road. It is unfair. This is unfair.
If the roads are not constructed, we would not vote for MPP again. We would vote them out of power in the next elections.
The residents say they continue to suffer, especially during the rainy season, as the roads become completely impassable. The poor road network is another big letdown for locals during emergencies.
Anytime it rains, we cannot even go out because of the poor drainage system. Flood will continue to run into our rooms.
We believe that we don't deserve this kind of road because the revenue we are generating, we don't know. They use the revenue we generate to do it to others. Meanwhile, we also deserve to get a good quality road for our people.
Boko shares a border with Burkina Faso in the north and Togo in the east. Though it is a town that connects Ghana to two countries and arguably generates an appreciable revenue for Ghana through trade, there is nothing much to see in Boko. Many roads in the town remain untarred. Even those that were constructed some years back are now in a deplorable state, including the only runabout in the town.
The road should be same for years to come, because every day in and day out,
People are praying to get money to buy motors. People are praying to get money to buy tractors. So if all these things are increasing, but there is nothing done about the road network, I believe it is a very big danger in the municipality. So I am calling on all politicians, if your government is on power, whatever good work the previous government has done, try to continue.
A town of historical significance is not far from Kulungungu, where the first president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, narrowly escaped an assassination attempt. The town is in dire need of infrastructural development. Residents are apprehensive. They are wondering what may have possibly delayed their share of development that they are entitled to. But the municipal chief executive for Boko, Haja Hawa Ninchema, says government has plans for the roads.
Because there are a lot of questions asking about this road, why it is so, why it is not being so. Is it the government who's causing it or who is causing it, and all those things. But the government knows that the road will be fixed. It is only about transparency. The award of the road matters. If you not work on a road and complete, and they will asking you so many questions about where did you get the funding, how did it cost this way and that way. At least we want to put everything on track. And when it happens, so I think they will start doing it very soon.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's reports for Joy News.
You're still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Daze. Let's stand by for business.